Welcome to Mondays with Maxwell. My name is Mark Cole. I'm the president and CEO of the John Maxwell Leadership Enterprise. I believe every one of you watching this right now is just like John. You welcome Mondays because you look forward to starting your week off looking for ways to value people. And since today is Monday, my friends, let's hear from the man of the hour. He is our leader, our friend, John C. Maxwell.
Hi, John Maxwell here. Welcome to Mondays with Maxwell as we do another lesson on best advice. I've had the best time the last few months sharing with you some of the best advice that I've received, some of the best advice that others have received that they've taught me. And now everywhere I'm traveling, people are coming up to me and they're saying, "Hey, John, here's a best advice that has helped me along the way." And so I'm continuing the series because I just think it's helping you and it's helping me. And so thanks for joining me today. And of course, Andrew's in the studio. It's his studio. And I should say I'm in Andrew's studio. And he's one of the funniest guys I know, honest to God. He's got a huge sense of humor. And ever since I've done the Best Advice series, Andrew keeps jumping in. He jumps in. He just says, "Hey, let me give you another one." And they're all kind of cute or funny. And the one he gave me today is that you can take my advice because I'm all done with it. And when he gave me that one, I thought, I've had a lot of times in my life where whatever advice I was giving, I was kind of done with it myself. But what I want to do today, and my best advice to you, is very simple. And it's all about serving others, teaches you about yourself. When I serve you, I not only add value to you, but I began to learn about myself. I did a series of teachings some time ago on what I called servanthood surprises. And the basic thesis of that teaching was the fact that when I began to serve other people, I was surprised, taken back, to be honest with you, at some of the incredible things that I learned about me. It wasn't about me because I was serving you, but while I was serving you, I began to understand myself. I began to see myself in a way that I don't think I would have ever experienced if it wasn't for the fact that I was committed on focusing on you. Isn't it interesting when we focus on others, because it's all about others, we learn about ourselves. Now, let me just start off by saying that I didn't really understand as a young leader servanthood at all. In fact, if you would have come up to me in my middle 20s and said, "Okay, what does leadership mean to you?" I would have said with a great deal of excitement, leadership to me means that I have this vision and I share it with others, and they buy into this vision, and they get on my leadership train, and I build this great organization. And back then, leadership wasn't about me serving anybody. In fact, this doesn't sound very good, but I think it's quite truthful. Leadership for me was about people coming and serving me, and who could I get to help me with my dream and my vision. And I was always looking around, recruiting people, and come on to my team, but it was all about me. But when I was 26 in Dayton, Ohio, for the first time, now it wasn't the last time, I heard many, many times Zig Ziglar speak, but for the first time, sitting on the front row in that Dayton arena with probably 10 to 12,000 people there, I heard Zig say that if you would help other people get what they want, that in the end, they would help you get what you want. And that was the day that I realized, you talk about learning about yourself, that was the day that I realized that I had this servanthood thing completely misunderstood. I thought I led so that people could serve me. It kind of goes back to the statement that it's wonderful when the people believe in the leader, but it's more wonderful when the leader believes in the people. Well, in my idea of leadership at the beginning, it was wonderful when the people serve the leader. And yet Zig that day taught me, and I made this incredible paradigm shift. Yeah, it's wonderful when the people serve the leader, but it's even more wonderful when the leader serves the people. Now, when I heard Zig in Dayton that day, I began to reflect on myself and realize that I needed to make a U-turn, that I was basically clear on the other opposite end of the spectrum. I was saying, join my team and serve me. And all of a sudden Zig says, no, you just help people get what they want. You start with serving others and putting them first. And what happened to me in this paradigm shift about leadership, I had to ask myself a motive question. And the motive question was very simple. Why do I want to be a leader? To this day, when people come up to me and they share with me that they want to lead, I say, well, that's a very good thing to do. But let me ask you a question. Why do you want to be a leader? And I want to listen to their answer. Because many, many times we want to become a leader because we feel that there are benefits for us, and it's too much about us, and it's too little about others. So I took Zig's advice. I began to learn how to serve people. I began to ask people, what would be the best way that I can add value to you? And I began to focus on just helping people be successful. And that changed my life. But I've even seen that in my own children. When our son Joel was 16, he's very gifted in technology, but like a lot of technical people, he didn't have the heart that I wanted him to have for people. He was very anal and very cut and dried and in or out, and this is the way, black and white. And I felt that he lacked a genuine care and compassion for other people. And so with a counselor friend of mine, Margaret and I decided to do an experiment with him to kind of maybe help him understand the power of servanthood. And at the age of 16, we literally sent him for a month to India. Now, I had friends in India, and when he landed in Calcutta, they would pick him up and they would take him, and it was a wonderful organization called Mission of Mercy. And they would house him and make sure he was okay. He was only 16. But what I wanted for sure for him to do is I wanted him every day in Calcutta to stand in a serving line and serve people food who had no money and basically had very little future. I wanted him to experience putting other people first. I wanted him to see himself differently than he'd ever seen before. We put him on a train to give him a 1-week little tour of India, and he rode economy class, which meant basically he sat on a board. And if you've ever been on a train in India, you know that's an incredible experience. And he got sick, and it was just a life-changing experience. I did do one thing for him. I did ask Mother Teresa if she would give him a little time. And one day while he was there, she gave him a half hour. And his favorite picture in the world is him standing beside Mother Teresa and seeing this incredible woman who really is the picture of servanthood. But he came back changed. He came back mellow. He came back much more introspective. He came back kinder. You see, he was in for that what I call servanthood surprise, when he basically, instead of waiting to be served, and he was growing up in an incredibly privileged home and having a privileged lifestyle, I just had to help him get out of his comfort zone. When we take our John Maxwell Team coaches on international trips to serve and to help train facilitators for our transformation tables around the world, the very first night when they gather together before we ever go out and work very hard in serving and training and teaching, I share with them that they've come to serve, and that's exactly what they do, and they do it extremely well. They have literally given their time, they've paid their expenses, their way there. I said, you have come to serve, and you're going to work very hard, but when you get on the plane 4 days later, you're going to understand that you received more than you gave. That's the paradox, the beautiful paradox of servanthood. And then I say to them a very simple statement. Once you have tasted significance, significance is all about adding value and serving others. Once you have tasted significance, success, it'll never satisfy. And every coach learns that lesson in the next 4 or 5 days. But let me just share with you very briefly, in our Monday with Maxwell today, let me just share with you 3 things that I have learned about myself from serving others. And the first thing that I've learned about myself in serving others is that until I serve people, I really don't value them. That there's something about putting other people first that makes them a priority in your life. And with that priority in your life, you begin to truly value that person. You've heard me say before that if you're hurting, I'll help you, and if you're broken, I'll fix you. But if I see you as valuable, I'll serve you. And for many years, I saw people as hurting, so I helped them, and I saw them broken, so I fixed them. But to be honest with you, when I did those things, it made me look good. I wasn't doing it to make me look good, but honestly, the people would say, "Oh, John, if you wouldn't have come, where would I be today?" And I almost had like a Messiah sense to myself. Well, here I am, and wow, you're broken, I'll fix you. Oh my, you're hurting, I'll help you, okay? But you see, everything changes. That table completely turns. I no longer have the upper hand when I see you as valuable. Because I see you as a person of value, I'll serve you. So serving others has taught me to really value people. Secondly, it's taught me to value teamwork. When you begin to serve others, you begin to understand their importance on the team. And you understand how that you begin to need each other. I have a statement that has been quoted many, many times. I bet you've maybe even quoted it once or twice. Teamwork makes the dream work. In my book on the 17 Laws of Teamwork, I talk about the law of Mount Everest. And the law of Mount Everest just simply says, as the challenge escalates, the need for teamwork elevates. In other words, if you have a Mount Everest experience in front of you, you can't accomplish it by yourself. You need others. And what I discovered is when I began to serve others, I began to value the gifts of others and their contribution, and how they were helping me climb a Mount Everest in my life, and it would be impossible without them on my team and without me being on their team for us to do this together. So it just has taught me to greatly value teamwork. The third thing that it has taught me is to be fulfilled. It's helped me to be fulfilled. Confucius said, "He who wishes to secure the good of others has already secured his own." When I wish to secure the good for you, isn't it interesting? I secure the good for myself. Jesus taught that, just like Confucius. He said that what you keep, you lose, but what you give, you keep. He understood that we are created and designed to share, to give, to serve. In my book, The 21 Laws of Leadership, one of the laws is that leaders add value by serving others. And what's interesting is, yes, we add value by serving others, but guess what? When we serve others, that adds value back to us. So let me give you, because I want to make this as practical as possible, let me give you 4 questions that I ask myself to help me serve people better. Here they are. Question number 1, what do people need? The question is not, what do I need? The question is, what do you need? Thomas Edison said, every invention I did was a result of thinking about how it would help others. I find out what the world needs, and then I proceed to invent it. I resonate with that. When I started writing books, I didn't want to write books that nobody wanted to read or would help no one. So I asked myself the very simple question, what is it that people need to be successful? That's how I came up with the REAL, real success, relationships, equipping, attitude, leadership. I know exactly what Thomas Edison is saying. If you really want to serve people well, ask yourself very simply, what do they need? The second question I ask myself is, how can I meet that need? In other words, now that I know what people need, how do I help meet that need in their life? You see, meeting needs of others begins with what I call a willing heart. And if you want to maximize your service to the people around you, asking that person is more useful than assuming. In other words, if I want to know how I can serve Andrew, who's in the studio with me today, I can try to guess, or I can kind of assume, or I can basically say, Andrew, help me out. What's the best way I can serve you? And what I found is that when we begin to ask those questions, how can I meet your need? We get the answers. And then guess what? We meet the needs. The third question I ask myself is, what do I do best that allows me to serve people best? You see, there are two parts of serving others that I don't want you to miss. The first part, I think, is the most natural, the thing that we grasp the easiest, and that is service requires a heart to serve. A serving heart turns a desire into actions. See, that's all about my attitude to serve. But the best service, if I'm going to give you the best service that I can give you as a servant, I need to put with that service my skills. Now, when I decide and discover what you want and need for me to serve you, if I have a willing heart, but I also have the skills to do it, now I'm going to serve you with excellence. The fourth question is, how can I inspire others to serve? That's why I'm doing this lesson, by the way, today on Best Advice on Mondays with Maxwell. I'm wanting to inspire you perhaps to a little different or greater degree than ever before in your life to serve others. And how can I do that? Well, I think there are quickly three ways. One, I can be an example. It's just true. People do what people see. And so every day I add value to people. And why do I add value to people? Very simply, I want people to see that, so it inspires them. Number two, I want to help people know how to help people. In other words, another reason I'm doing this lesson is I want to teach you how to serve and help others. I wrote a book called Change Your World. If you do not have that book, please get it. Just go to changeyourworld.com, and it's a plan, it's a map. It's a guideline on how you can start literally, when you turn the first page of Change Your World, you can literally start to change the lives of people. We teach you exactly how to be a make a difference person. We teach you how to live a life of significance. Changeyourworld.com. Go to it. And then the third way that I do my best to inspire others in service is I ask them to help me. I just say, hey, I'd love for you to help me. I've got a vision. Would you like to be part of it? You see, inspiration often begins with an invitation. There have been times when somebody invited me to join their cause, and I did, and I got all inspired. But I wouldn't have gotten inspired if they wouldn't have said, would you like to join the cause? We just finished up in Highlands, North Carolina, where Margaret and I live in the summer. We just finished our annual Maxwell Invitational. It's just a golf tournament for a few people who want to play 3 courses of golf with me for 3 days. And they're very generous to our nonprofit organization, Equip. Each one gives $25,000 to be part of the Maxwell Invitational, and we had a blast playing golf. The last afternoon, after we finished our 3 days of golf, we were having a wonderful luncheon. We were giving out awards and prizes and telling stories, and everybody was laughing. And all of a sudden, I just sat back at the table and I looked at them. And the conclusion I had was very simple. Every one of them wanted to serve. Every one of them wanted to help. And I thought, how blessed I am. As I close this teaching today on serving others teaches us about ourselves, I want to talk to you just for a moment about my coaching organization, the John Maxwell Team. I think one of the reasons why we are successful, and we are, think about it, 10 years, 39,000 coaches in 172 countries. In fact, I'm asked all the time, John, how did your coaching company grow so fast and do so much? I was just blessed. The other day, Mark Cole, our CEO, told me that through our youth initiative with the John Maxwell Team and our coaches, we have now shared and helped over 1.5 million kids. And when he told me that, I thought, that's who we are. That's what we do. But the core of our success in the John Maxwell Team is the fact that we teach our people to serve. Again, our first lesson on John Maxwell Team DNA is that we are people of value who value people and add value to them. It's who we are. That's what we do. Is it possible that as you join me with Mondays with Maxwell, and you've heard about our coaching team, is it possible, probable maybe, that you have 2 or 3 times kind of thought, wow, I'd like to know more about how to become a part of the John Maxwell team. I'd like to become a John Maxwell certified coach. I'd like to maybe consider that. If that thought has just entered your mind, I want you to go to mondayswithmaxwell.com. If you go to mondayswithmaxwell.com right now, we have people that will guide you through a process that will help you understand what the John Maxwell team is all about and help you understand how you can become a part of a community that is making an incredible difference around the world. Honestly, we need you. And honestly, you need us. Follow that nudge today. You've thought about it before, but today's your day. mondayswithmaxwell.com. Go to it. We'll have people help you understand the John Maxwell team. And if you want, you can help us serve people at home and around the world. I know this. I'd love to have you on my team. So right now, go to mondayswithmaxwell.com. God bless.
I hope you've enjoyed today's Monday with Maxwell lessons. What's some good advice or some unadvice you've received? Let us know in the comments. Thank you again for watching today. We'll see you next week for another episode of Mondays with Maxwell.